All right, thank you for joining me. Um, so we had the PoE2 event earlier today, and watching over it, I kind of wanted to absorb a little bit of it. Even watching it multiple times, it's a little hard to follow, especially if you are not basically living in Path of Exile. Um, but I just wanted to kind of give my opinion on what I thought. Um, so I'm going to be playing a little bit of the video, kind of stopping it and explaining maybe a little bit of the differences between myself, who I'm a novice. I mean, I played um, a little less than 100 hours Path of Exile. Um, I don't have any end game characters. I love the story. I did finish the story on one character, but I never actually completed all the way to end game. Um, Path of Exile itself, because I jumped into it late, is overwhelming, and I can see how new players would find it overwhelming. It does tend to kind of throw everything at you. It's not new player friendly. And the end game is almost not explained. Like, I don't know how maps work. Um, I'm still trying to figure out how to kind of throw my stuff all around my hideout. Um, I guess there's other aspects to it as well. The new settlers version, I did go to the new city and spent some money and tried to hire people and use them to like send out on jobs and stuff like that. But it just doesn't, it's not intuitive, so I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to be doing there. And I don't believe in researching something before I play it. So, in other words, I'm not going to go on YouTube and research like everybody's video on how to best approach the end game. If the game doesn't intuitively teach you that, then the game has failed. Um, so being that it probably got built up over time, that's really more my problem in the initial game uh, than their problem. It's kind of like if you jumped into WoW and you were, playing current day WoW, you're not expected to know every piece of lore all the way down. Immediately. It's going to take you a lot of time. You've got to catch up to everybody else. Things aren't going to be as easily just, oh, yeah, that's how that works. Okay, I know. So in this case, it's the same way. PoE2 is a new game, and the way that they are actually going about it is different. So while mechanics will tend to work the same, so down there at the bottom, uh, down at the bottom location, where the spells are being cast at the bottom right hand corner there, you'll see your mouse center button, right and left mouse, Q, W, E, R, T. And if you hit Alt, you'll actually have a bunch of spells as well, on other buttons that can be used. Those are the same as the old game. Your spells get put on that, and then it's just however you use it. This game, I definitely would want to use a controller. I hope they fixed it because in Path of Exile, the controller on Steam had some flaws. So while it worked and I could kill things, I could never pick up anything with my controller. I would then have to basically just get rid of the controller because if you can't pick up anything in a looting game, you're not going to get anywhere. So I had to go back to mouse and keyboard. Um, So in this case, um, all of your weapons are right there in tablature. And that is also different than Path of Exile, the original. Um, it's gonna be better for people just because now you can actually see what level you're at, what skill you're getting, because there was like a billion gems in PoE. And so you had to follow a build guide because, I mean, otherwise you'd be utterly lost. You'd just be spending points into nothing. And one of the things PoE2 is going to be doing is that now you get gold, and this gold can be used to change the perks that you get in the skill tree. And the skill tree is still quite large. But the nice thing is that in PoE2, you only had so many resets in PoE1, you only had so many resets. In PoE2, you can spend that gold to actually remove talent points that you put in so you can put them into something else. So it allows for you to actually play with your build and see what works for you versus somebody who's telling you a build guide. Because people play their characters differently. Um, some people like, for instance, might want to meld um, a ranged and a kind of a ranged ability with a melee fighter, just to get a kind of think of kind of like a firestorm or something on top of where you're smashing and doing earth slams and stuff like that, so that you get more AOE. So that kind of experimentation is way more prevalent in PoE2 than it is in PoE. And I really like how they kind of set this up where, as you see on the screen here, you have the different spell abilities, and each one of the weapons on the left-hand side is going to have different kind of passives and things like that that you can play with your character on. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of move this forward. Okay, so this is a tree, and one thing I would say for anybody who's starting this, even myself, uh, don't get overwhelmed with all the options, because this game is inundated with options. You have a tree, and then when you get to end game, every end game system has another tree, and you're going to be doing more trees and trees and trees upon trees and trees. Your gyms have trees. Everything kind of has all these trees. And so if you go into it looking at their video and going, well, there's this system and that system and this system and that system, you're going to look at this and just glassy eyed just and shut down. You won't have to worry about it. The end game stuff is going to come at end game, and by then you're already going to have this tree worked out, so this won't be a problem. And the trees that you get at the end game are just like little trees, and they give you more specializations towards your actual play style to whichever character that you're going to be using. So don't get bogged down in the systems itself, because they're not gonna be tossed all at once at you. So you're going to be looking at little pieces of it as you go through. If you start at early access or start of, you may not have build guides to go with, just because it is an early game. So it's kind of the fun of it is to actually experience it yourself and see what you can kind of implement, rather than following a build guide. And like I said earlier, they opened it up way more for you to do that without penalties. So you don't feel like so bad about making a poor choice. You can go back and change it. Um, they also have, if you look to the right hand side of the blue plus there, yeah, my mouse is working there. Okay. You'll see right here, this is going to be a gem slot where you can actually put in a gem. They did go over that in the video where um, these gems will basically give you additional weird bonuses and things like that that may change playstyle a little bit, or enhance areas, entire like areas. So you're going to be looking at these gems, and they're going to be specialized to these open sockets, but you want to make sure you put them in the right place, kind of see where they affect your stats, because one gym may be better here, where another one's better over here, or something along those lines. Um, so yeah, that's basically what I wanted to kind of go over. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of stuff in this game, a lot of changes. The game looks absolutely gorgeous. Um, the flask system is different. If you played PoE1, you used to have 5 different flasks. They're down to 2 now, 1 health, 1 mana, and then you have these 3 charms here that basically will act as flasks that we used for resistances or speed buffs or something like that. So those are all being done through charms now, and they kind of just got rid of the flask option. So it does it automatically, and you don't have to sit there and manipulate flasks while you attack and stuff like that. Um, the currencies have been changed a little bit. It looks like there's a lot less of them as they're going through all the augmentations of the gear. Um, that was also overwhelming as a new player in PoE. There was a lot of different, like, kind of, when you broke gear down, it gave you different things, like the ability to change gear to have a colored slot, having connected slots, having being able to change it from a normal item to a magic item, and changing parameters. There were all sorts of different things that you could use. And so they're basically trying to more simplify it more and make it easier for you to change your gear. And once again, they want to make it more prevalent so that, um, for instance, one of the build guides that I went through was the Earthshaker. And one of the things that they were saying is to take a woodman's axe with a sash and a blacksmith's waitstone, put it all in, and it would make a more magical one. And while trying to do that, I would find better gear and stuff just off of random drops. So I never got the whole point of why you would do that in the first place. So I would say that this system seems way easier to understand. I just take it, modify it, take another thing, modify it, take another thing, modify it, and I can actually create a rare out of something that is just normal. So you wouldn't have to worry about, trying to play RNG with the roll gods, trying to get your best, roll out of it. Um, so that's definitely something that they're updating, and it looks really cool. Um, So this is the campaign map, and you'll see it looks a lot like your tree. And this, I really kind of like this because their old campaign style was quest based, and so you get a quest, and it would kind of get put under the map, and it wouldn't really tell you much about the quest. So you kind of just went through and killed things, and it's like try to find another path to this area. And so basically, you just crawl around the map killing things until you found the pathway around that they're having you look for. Um, and this is it's very much it puts it more in the player's field where it looks like you can actually kind of pick and choose where you want to go and what you want to do and what you want to go back to. And that allows for more manipulation of kind of how you want to play the game. Maybe you want to play the game in areas that are a little bit different. Like I didn't really care for the desert areas and stuff like that in PoE. Um, I like the jungle. The beach was okay, but it was kind of eh. The caves were nice. Um, and then with PoE2, these are more systems, but these once again are end game. They have like tablets that you're going to be using, and they have they're like little tokens that you put. I think they forget what they called them as like Waystone or something like that as well. But um, those are all end game stuff, so don't worry so much about that until you're reaching end game, and then at that point you can play with it. A lot of these seem to be implemented the way they were talking. These were already implemented in PoE, so a lot of the people who've played end game in that game already know what they're doing. So this is going to be probably something more that I'm going to have to learn than the majority of the PoE community, which the PoE community seems pretty nice. I haven't had anybody who's been rude about anything. These are the cosmetics that they're offering. So you're gonna have to pay for if you want the cosmetics. I really, really, really like the portal design that they did with this one. So if you are interested in supporting them, you can obviously get their supporter packs. You do have to spend a minimum of $30, and that gets you early access on December 6th, as well as some points to spend into the store. Otherwise, if you get their supporter packs, it comes with a early access key, um, and then you can kind of put all the trans sorry, I'm blanking here. All uh all the cosmetics all onto your character, and you kind of make it your own. But definitely it looks like a really cool game. I kind of went down to where I think I'm either going to be a warrior, um, the um, I forget what they call him, but he's basically the gun version. He's gonna have a crossbow, and he kind of throws out grenades and blasts out everything. It looks really fun to play. So they're saying that's more for shooters. I'm not really a big shooter fan, but that class looks like it's gonna be a blast. Um, the other one that I want is probably going to be the sorcerer or sorceress. The elemental control that she has is really awesome, and so I think that could also be another fun class to kind of merge different styles with to kind of make it your own. So the whole thing around this is I'm very happy with the way that they're going with this. I think it looks really good. It looks really fun. It's very unique, and I can't wait to play it. If it looks like your cup of tea, I would definitely suggest that you go with it. But ultimately, I would say watch the Twitch stream that they did and see which character you kind of in line with. They will have more characters later on, but the first six were discussed today. So thank you for joining me with this, and I hope you join me in Path of Exile too.